Okay, this is K-Rail. I am reporting live from Facebook and Zoom at the same time. And as usual, I had a hard time getting on from Zoom to Facebook because there's a battery of issues to deal with. So, as I usually do, I'm going to start off by saying this. If any of you have any questions or comments, first of all, please post them below. I have my app open on my phone. I'm going to turn the volume all the way down so I don't get feedback. If you have any questions or comments during this live, post them below. I'll have my phone next to me and I'll be checking it on the reg. Now, hands and knees again. I'm going to seated position in a prayer pose. Mark Zuckerberg, if you can hear me, this is the third plea I'm making. I'm going to keep making pleas until I get my prayers answered. Please bring back the live option on Facebook where we can do lives with mutual people in different towns and countries. That was so easy and convenient and smooth and seamless. And now all of a sudden, it's a big disruption to go from Zoom into live because it's hard and the screen is like really small for people watching out there. So I'm begging you, please, please, pretty please, I will make you some kombucha. I make the greatest kombucha in the world. I'm starting a business. Once all this coronavirus thing goes away, I will give you some free kombucha. Mark Zuckerberg, right on my words. Please bring it back. Now, let's get down to the matter at hand. It's early in the morning. What day is it, Tuesday? It's Tuesday. This is K-Rail reporting live. I've got two very special guests on today. My good friends, Shelley Marshall and Joe Davis. A little backstory on these two. Shelley is a very gifted chef. I'm going to call her a chef. I'm going to call her baker. She's a very gifted baker. She is a health and wellness coach. She is a former ICU nurse. And she knows a lot of intel about cleanliness, proper ways to put gloves on and off, and all these kind of things, and ways to self-guard yourself from any kind of germs or infections that you do not want swimming or floating around on your body or inside your body. She is also the owner of Park City Desserts. And I have the biggest sweet tooth on the face of the earth. And yes, I maintain lean body fat percentages all year round. That is because I work out like a maniac and I do time-restricted eating and extended fasting on a regular basis. We're not going to spend a lot of time talking about that. But let's just tell you this. During the quarantine, a lot of you are apt to sit around more, to eat more, to get more out of shape, and to add pounds to your body. Well, I'm here to tell you, you can quarantine and keep your sweet tooth alive at the same time if you go down the correct road and choose the correct sweets to include in your diet. I do that. That's how I'm able to maintain my lean figure. So we're going to talk to Shelley about that and what she does and how she does it. Now, Joe Davis, he is the man in town. He used to be on Park City television. He's interviewed me a few times. I'd come in there gunslinging early in the morning, and he'd always be staring at me like, dude, you got way too much energy for this early in the morning. Well, that's just how I roll. I'm high on life. I'm a positive thinker. I like to motivate people and inspire them, and I like to get outside, and I like to just do fun things, and I'm full of energy all the time because I'm 100 miles per hour. Joe Davis is the man. He is starting, when this thing ends, not a food truck, a coffee truck, which I find very interesting because I make a particular blend of kombucha called Perk, which includes coffee beans. So these are really cool cats. They've got a lot of good information, and we're going to throw down right now. So welcome, Shelley and Joe. How y'all doing today?
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. The intro.
Yeah, I just hope to live up to some of that, K-Rail. And I'm all about the energy today.
That's great. The sun is shining in Park City. The sky is blue. We should all be excited about energy today. Energy particulate flows around us all the time. Now tell me something about your desserts, Shelley.
Oh my gosh. So I'm like you. I have to have fun. I don't want anyone telling me I can't have my treats. But I had some health issues and I wanted to make sure that I stayed healthy. So I had to figure out a way to do that. I had to get both, right? And so also my kids, you know, they're 11 and 15. I can't believe I have a 15-year-old. They were going back and forth with their dad, and you know, I'm divorced, and so I had to, they go there, eat junk food, come here, and then they go into shock.
You would end up doing damage control and cleaning up the mess, right? So to speak.
Programming and refooding.
Yeah.
Oh boy. How much of an arduous task was that? People out there listening, I'm sure there's people out there that have a similar situation where they're divorced or separated and they have kids involved, and they'll go to one of the adults' place for a weekend or 4 days, come back, and they're completely different than when they left. And they may be eating something that's like really unhealthy, and they're programmed to that thing. What kind of advice would you give to another couple or another family or in your situation? What advice would you give on how to like medicate that situation or make it comfortable for everybody? Is that a really tough question? Because it seems like it would be.
It's a tough question.
Yeah, it's a tough question.
We struggle every day still, even with the yummy desserts, right?
Shelley always says that food is medication, right?
Right.
And that's the point, is that you've got to get them back on the right meds when it comes to food, because you can tell the difference when they're eating junk, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're hyper, and then so I'm gluten-free. We're gluten-free in this house, but they would go eat a bunch of gluten, come back and totally detox, you know, meltdowns, hyperactivity, bad moods, mood swings. I mean, I could see it because I know when I got off gluten how I felt.
Yeah.
And I was a mess. I was like detoxing, literally detoxing, sweating, and you know, moody.
Holy moly.
So it's a struggle every day, and I would just say, don't give up hope. You know, don't give up. Don't compromise your values. Mm-hmm. Keep your framework. Within that framework, though, relax. You know, mm-hmm. There's going to be bad days. There's going to be days when you might pick up a burger or toast,
or pizza,
bread, whatever it is, not organic, and you just have to like be okay with being in the moment and know that long term you're teaching them good habits. So if you throw that smoothie in there, but then the rest of the day is crap, you know, it's okay. Like you had a smoothie and like applaud yourself for the wins. And that's the only way I've gotten through like 9 years of flip-flopping, you know.
Okay. That's good.
You're just setting up the other parent for success, but send them home, you know, in better shape than they got them. It's like, you know, it's like going to the park, right? You leave in better shape than when you showed up.
Right.
Take your garbage out with you.
Well, I always say when it comes to working out, you should be very specific on what you're doing when you get to the gym or you get to the park or you get to your living room nowadays. And you always want to feel better when you leave than when you got there.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's like lead by example.
But if, you know, they're kids, they're unpredictable, right? And especially when they were little, I would say, how many colors have you eaten today? And we'd look at the rainbow. And, you know, if they had an orange or...
And we're not talking about Skittles either, by the way.
Right, not the rainbow fruit flavors.
actual fruits and vegetables. So tell me, how did you come upon... I don't think I ever, the time that I've known you, I don't think I ever asked you how you came upon Park City Desserts. What was like the motivation? Was it like the kid thing, flipping back and forth, trying to create healthy desserts for your kids? Or was it like, because of your background in nutrition and everything else, you're like, I want to create an alternative for everyone and everyone to enjoy? Or did it start out with the kids and then you just kind of expanded it? You sampled out to people and people like, hey, you should start a business? Like, what was the whole backstory with that? I'm curious.
And because like any business, it takes unexpected twists and turns. And I've always had an entrepreneurial side to me, and I like being the one in charge.
Okay.
In a good way, you know. I hold very strong to my value system, which is like I'm very eco-conscious, very into, you know, social activism, eco-activism, environmental work. I was on the board of Utah Moms for Clean Air, and like, so that's really important to me. And so it's hard for me to work for any company that doesn't really, you know, have those values. It's just, I'm pretty stubborn that way. Mm-hmm. So I was brainstorming with my friend who owns Olive and Tweed on Main Street. And we sort of came up with this idea of a lounge, because I love music. I love DJs. I love an urban scene, which I feel like sometimes we don't get here in Park City.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But I wanted like a cafe, but late night, you know, where you could decompress, connect with a friend. And there's a cafe on the East Coast called Cafe Intermezzo. And nice. They have that feeling. They're open really late. They have a huge menu of small bites and sandwiches and coffees and dessert, whole case of dessert. I was like, how can I do that but hold my values? You know, how can I do that and have healthy food where people can kind of wind down the night? And we still are growing into something bigger than what we have right now. First you have to start somewhere, and Park City has expensive rent. So
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I
think when this all comes to an end, if it ever does, I think the rent is going to be quite significantly cheaper.
It might. And for us, you know, that would help actually.
Yeah. So tell me about what you got in front of you there. It looks like you're about to whip something up, or you just whipped something up. Describe to me like a dessert that you would make. What makes it healthy? Like, what are the components in it?
I wanted to make this for you, Kevin, and technically it's paleo. So, you know, buzz terms and all that, it's interesting, but I do like being able to accommodate special diets. I like making people happy when they're so excited to say, oh, I can eat that, yay, you know, it's fun. It's really fun. These are organic strawberries. Okay. So these are frozen actually, because I was really wanting to adjust the recipes for things you can get right now. Wherever you are, because I know it's hard. You know, grocery is not easy. You have to order stuff online or have it delivered. So I was just trying to find some good things that are you know, keepable and whatever for you guys. So frozen strawberries, let them thaw overnight. They're so sweet when you let them sit in the juice.
Yeah.
So and I also have some coconut cream here, and I'll show you the tricks on that. That's, you know, it's the 365 brand from Whole Foods, nothing crazy. We also have some maple syrup here, some organic syrup. So everything's organic. This recipe is 100% organic. Again, eco-activist, really important to not Monsantify my whole food, you know, seed. I mean, that's the one thing, no matter what, with my kids. Even if they have candy, you know, it doesn't have high fructose corn syrup in it. It doesn't have petroleum-based dyes. That was just always something I would never compromise on, even though sometimes I had to get fresh baked bread from the local baker or something, you know. So it's all about where your values lie. But so gloves.
What is this? What is this that you're making anyway? What is this treat you're making me? Now, just for one quick word, people. I literally bought $50 worth of these amazing keto, what do you call them?
Oh,
keto truffles.
Keto truffles from her yesterday. There's almond butter in them and dark chocolate. They are absolutely incredible. If any of you are local in Park City, I highly suggest you hit Shelley up ASAP to get your dessert fix on. And remember, you don't have to quarantine your sweet tooth. It's that simple. I have not quarantined mine at all. I'm losing weight at home because I opt for healthy, clean desserts. So she's also going to be whipping up something really special right now. So what is this actually called?
Oh, this is a vegan strawberry mousse. Good point. What I love about this too is if you have mason jars at home, it keeps them fresh for a while. So if you need to pre-make meal plan and then pop them out of the fridge for a treat for the kids while you're running around trying to work at home and homeschool and all that madness, this is
brilliant.
It's simple. They can also help you. It's pretty easy. So, you know, it's a fun thing for the family to do. So then you've got some activity time going on. So it keeps them occupied.
I need to interrupt you for 1 second to tell a mason jar story. There's something that I love about drinking out of a mason jar. I don't normally prepare kombucha in it because of the lids tend to get a little like a rusty flavor to them. It causes a little weirdness with the kombucha. But I love to drink out of them and just use them as glasses. It started when I was a young kid. I was watching the Waltons, and John Walton and Grandpa Walton and John Boy went over to the Baldwin sisters' house to sample the recipe. And they gave them the recipe in the mason jars, and they were drinking it. Do you know what do you remember the Waltons?
Yeah, well, I watched the Waltons. I remember saying goodnight, John Boy, every time.
All right. But do you remember the Baldwin sisters? They made this special recipe. They had this big vat where they're making moonshine whiskey.
Oh.
And then John and Grandpa and John Boy would always try to sneak over there behind what's her name's back, whoever John's wife's name was, Livia. They would sneak out of the house and go visit the Baldwin sisters because they knew they could get the moonshine whiskey. And they were drinking it out of mason jars once, and I just thought it was water. So when I was a little kid, I would just steal mason jars out of the basement. I'd bring them up and I'd start drinking water as a little kid, not knowing it was moonshine whiskey. They could probably be lit on fire because it was pretty strong. It was called the special recipe. Oh, it's Grandpa's recipe, they would always say. So they were drinking whiskey and I was drinking water. Anyway. Funny story, and I like to repurpose things. So mason jars work great as glasses to drink from, objects to store things in, keep them fresh in the refrigerator. I always suggest using something that's more glass than like a plastic with like contaminant stuff in it and particulates. And also what you're describing is brilliant. You can use them as a serving size thing and just eat right from it, and you're good to go.
Yeah, and then rinse it out and day drink. Little moonshine. No big
deal.
There
you go. White Claw it, baby.
Day drinking, that's what quarantine's all about.
A little antiseptic, you know. Little treat for mommy too.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, strawberry mousse.
I'll give you some great quick tips on this.
Okay.
What I do, I'm not gonna do it now because we have really good stuff to talk about still, but I turn it over. If you can see, it's upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's important.
And then I open it up. I pour the coconut milk. That's what this is, coconut milk, in here for a smoothie.
Okay.
Potassium, right, Kevin? So
Yep.
it's great to keep around, or another mason jar, whatever you want to label it. And then I scoop out the cream, and that's what this is, if you can see.
Yep.
I scoop out the cream so that way it's a little bit thicker. If I need to add just a tip to this, I will, but I don't think you will.
Okay.
Usually. And then I blend it.
Okay.
This is the fun part for kids, right?
Mm-hmm. He doesn't love blending.
Kids are adults that long to use tools again, right?
Yeah, right? Tim the Tool Man Taylor.
So this is usually the part they just love. Okay, so you've got this nice thick cream here.
Uh-huh.
I just want to eat it right now. So good. No sugar, you can add some vanilla bean or vanilla extract. It's delicious, just like it is, right?
Yeah. It's it makes a great whipped topping for other desserts.
I was gonna say I love whipped cream, and I often get this stuff called not soy whip. What's it called? On tip of my tongue. I get it at Whole Foods, and it's a vegan Cool Whip alternative.
Oh,
And
yes.
it's amazing. So if I can make my own from coconut, I might try to do that just for fun.
Yeah, it's really inexpensive, but also it is soy-free. I have tried that whip. It is delicious, and the texture is so light and fluffy, but there are some additives in it. Everything we do is non-GMO. We're probably about 95% organic, certified organic, and no soy ever. So
And that's exactly why you have my sweet tooth's attention, 100% attention, undivided attention all the time.
we're really, when we started, what I tried to do is find the ingredients first. Say, what can I make out of this? Versus, I have this recipe, this is what I have. I'm really stuck on this framework. I've got to go buy ingredients. It was kind of the opposite.
Gotcha.
Now, that said, there's been a lot of challenges along the way. It's not easy. Most of my time is spent finding ingredients. And when a company changes, it's so hard.
And it happens a lot.
It happens a lot.
I wrote a book called Active Nutrition back in 2014, and that's 6 years ago. And half the stuff I name dropped in there probably doesn't even exist anymore, because I find really unique things and ingredients from unique companies. And oftentimes there's a short run, and then they either the product isn't selling, so they discontinue it, or the company goes out of business completely and I can't get it anymore. And I'm I'm sitting around scratching my head. So I know that pain that you're talking about all too well, and it is frustrating. And you have to be able to make quick decisions on, oh my God, I came here to get blah, blah. Organicville, the company Organicville, used to have this amazing salsa. I love the company. They still have a bunch of products, but I get it at Whole Foods all the time. I walk in one day, boom, it's gone. I'm like, where's the salsa?
That's why we got to support those companies, right? That's super important.
Exactly.
Support those companies that are making things that we value, and using those as opposed to products that we don't value.
Yes.
Even if it's difficult to get, even if it costs a little bit more, it makes more sense to support those
in the long
companies.
run.
Usually mom and pop, they're usually small.
Yeah. I do 90% of my business is done like that.
Yeah.
Okay, fire away.
Right? The ones that are small and really doing it because they value it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna pour. This is a fancy blender, This is a Ninja.
Fancy.
It's really not that expensive though. They have them. I don't know if they currently have them, but they have them at Costco.
I see them there all the time.
Yeah, they have different attachments, which is so awesome. But Vitamix will work, or just your little blender at home is fine.
Yeah, this is easy to blend. So
Yeah, so I'm just gonna put, got the maple syrup here. I put 1 package of strawberries to 2 tablespoons maple syrup.
Okay.
With that said, you can adjust to your taste, right? If you like it sweeter, make it sweeter. If you like it not as sweet, don't put the 2 tablespoons, just put 1. So you can play around with this.
Yeah, don't forget the recipes are just a framework. They don't have to be absolute. So.
Gotcha. Guideline. Fired up.
Here we go. So beautiful.
We're witnessing history right now. Love it. I've got a NutriBullet, which I love. I use that for my kombucha, actually. I put the fruit in and I just go bring, bring, and I pulse it like twice, and it's like.
I love it.
Fast.
We have the ninja version of that, and it's so nice for smoothies if you just want a quick, Okay, so we've got our puree, our strawberry puree. I like this too because if you have leftovers, make a smoothie, right? Just
exactly.
Other fruits and make it how you like it. I'm just gonna eyeball this a little. So I'm pouring in the puree into the whip, right? Okay, you can see.
Yep.
And I just mix it in with a spoon. I fold it in. And it may or may not be enough. This is just 1 can of coconut milk. And obviously you can adjust it for your family. I would do at least a can per person. So we have 4 people quarantining with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would just do 1 can per person. I'm gonna pour a little more.
So if you're making this the strawberry mousse for people, is it always just an art form for you? Is it winging it? Or do you have like schematics and diagrams and notes all over the place where you know exactly, you've run a lot of tests, you know exactly how much maple syrup and strawberries and coconut to use all the time?
Well, let's just say that sometimes we're looking for a sticky note that somehow disappeared.
Okay.
It's a little of both. That's awesome.
It's a little of both.
That's an awesome question because where we live has major swings in the environment, right? It can be snowing, dumping snow at 32 degrees, and then the next day is sunny and 65 degrees, and then the next day is windy.
Yeah.
And moisture level really does come into play when you're looking at raw. We do a lot of raw desserts, and so we do raw cacao and all these tarts with fresh juices and zest, and yeah, it gets intense sometimes, right? I'm learning every day. It's an adventure, and that's where the art form comes in. But for sure, you can use a packet of frozen strawberries and 2 cans of coconut milk and 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, and you're gonna get something pretty delicious.
Okay. Sold.
So here's the strawberry mousse. See how it's kind of, becoming yummier and yummier. And
I'd probably like my mousse a little on the heavier leaded side, a little extra maple syrup, a little extra strawberry, because I've got a sweet tooth.
I love how pretty this. It's like a tie-dye, like cool, trippy little thing here. The kids love that. And also what's kind of fun and what you can do is set up for the kids a garnishing station. So in classes that I teach, hopefully one day I'll get to teach again, we set up a whole station with like beetroot powder and cacao nibs and flowers, edible flowers, and more whipped cream, and we put it in a piping bag. They get creative. It's so much fun. So I hope we get to that point again here soon.
That's a great tip right there. Kids love to be interactive with things. They don't like to just sit around and do nothing. They like to get their hands dirty. Like when I was a little kid, I'd be standing on a chair right now, hounding my mom when she'd be doing baked goods. I'd want batter, I'd want icing, I'd be licking the beaters, I'd be licking the bowl, I'd be doing all that stuff. And she would let me do the beater thing. You're right, Joe. Kids, this is such a gratifying situation when it comes to kids and beaters. I used to love doing that. And as adults, for the men out there listening, if your wife is in there cooking something, I have to admit, it's really fun when you have the tool in your hand and you're just like, and you're augering away, blending something up. There's just something fun about that. I can't even say what it is.
Yeah, there's never a time when a guy doesn't want to grab it, one of these tools.
Right?
Blenders are an awful lot of fun. You can make some great frozen drinks, but this is definitely the favorite of most everybody in this house. And so
he loves the spiked smoothies.
Well,
yeah, I can imagine he does. He's a day drinker, of course.
There you are. Look
Yum.
The kids love this. It's so awesome for quarantining. It really is. It's 3 ingredients, all available at Whole Foods, hopefully, or natural grocers.
Trader Joe's sometimes.
Sometimes Costco.
I'm going to throw this name out because there might be some people back east watching. Wegmans.
Yeah.
Y'all remember Wegmans?
Oh, we can't forget Sprouts,
Oh, yeah. Sprouts is a good option. Yeah, there's like the health food store industry has been just blowing up over the past decade. And even just the regular conventional grocery stores, even our local conventional grocery stores are loaded with organic stuff now. Smith's, Fresh Market, The Market, all those places. So people the gripes I hear most from people is, I can't find clean food. I can't find organic. I can't find our natural. That excuse has been taken away. That's not true. What the problem is that you may have is cost. Yes. In the middle of nowhere, a regular supermarket is going to have an organic product, is going to upsell the heck out of it. And it's going to be way more expensive than an actual specialty store like a Whole Foods or a Natural Grocers or a Sprouts or a Trader Joe's. If you don't have any one of those in your neighborhood, what would you recommend people do? I have a solution, but I want to ask you what you think.
I can't wait to hear yours because, yeah, this is definitely an issue and we have to get really creative sometimes. Obviously we live in a small mountain town, right? So things that I need stats.
Yeah.
Like crap, we're out and we have this huge order and it's so hard to find. So I think I'm looking into online options, right? That's the thing right now is online. There's a company called Thrive Market that I'm really interested in checking into. I've been watching them for years and now's the time to check it out, right?
Yeah, and the truth is, look, if you're going to complain, you need to do things about it instead of just complaining. So if you want more of those foods, you need to make sure you tell your grocer that you want to see more of them. And you need to buy them. And if you buy enough of them, you get your friends to do it, then eventually those are the things that they have more quantity of, which means more quantity, less price. They don't have a choice. The price comes down. So
hopefully, right?
That's the plan, right?
But yeah, cost is an issue, especially when, we have 4 kids between the 2 of us, right? So basically my role was, besides the desserts, if I went to the store, I only bought what was on sale. Only. And then I would find the recipe to match whatever that happened to be.
Okay.
Yep.
That's an interesting thing. The way I look at it,
there's tons of apps that just you put down what ingredients you have. In fact, our refrigerator will do it. It'll tell you what's in the refrigerator and what you can make out of it. So it's not possible to find those things pretty easily.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So I feel there's a good and the bad and the ugly of everything. Obviously, organic is going to be your top cleanest one. Local organic is going to be always your best option. And I would say local is going to be your second best option. So look for the locally raised stuff in your grocery store if you don't have the option of organic and free range or all natural, whatever you want to call it, to your disposal. Look for a local farmer's market that has a commissary where you can get boxes of fruits and vegetables sent to your place on a weekly basis or monthly basis every 2 weeks. And then also look online at, well, you were saying like Thrive Market, I know about it. There are actually produce delivery places nowadays as well that will find your spot and they deliver out to you as well. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can get some skin in the game when it comes to eating healthy and eating clean. And Costco, I know our Costco's are just chock full. Every time I go down there, well, before the coronavirus, every time I went down there, there was just more and more organic companies in the whole spot, including like the produce section too. I mean, like big, like bags of organic romaine hearts for like $4.99 for 6. Where normally you buy those for like $4.29 for 3 in a regular store or Whole Foods or whatever. So you just got to keep your eyes open, keep your eyes sharpened. And if you want something bad enough, you can find it. Or you can find people that will help you find it, such as all of us.
Absolutely.
So I don't really think that compromising your food is ever a good thing because you always want to eat as clean as you can. You want to have the least amount of disease festering chemicals in your body as possible. And you always want to think happy thoughts, get plenty of fresh air, and get sunlight. Now, you are wearing blue gloves. You used to be in the front lines in the ICU, and you have a nursing background. So I want to know, what is the deal with the mask and gloves? Yes, no, maybe. And explain to people how to put the gloves on and off.
I love it. This is like my jam.
Good. Let's hear it.
Honestly, for me, yes on the mask.
Okay.
Yes on the gloves. Because there's a lot of becauses though. I mean, there's a lot of details to that, right? That people are not getting educated on. And I really wish that our local governments, our neighborhoods, I think we need a PSA campaign, you know, a public service announcement. We need training. We have to all think like a medical practitioner. We have to think right now like someone who works in medicine. With that said, there's no need for panic. There's no need for fear. This is just a precautionary measure. So when you see masks, you don't have to freak out, but use them properly. Gloves, you know, I love gloves because my head, in my mindset, when I put on the gloves, I don't touch my face. That is my instant reminder and cue not to touch anything else on my body or any personal items that might go on my body. So for me, I have that mindset. So you have to get that mindset first. Putting on gloves doesn't do it. It's the symbolism of what they do and your mindset when you put them on. So when I have gloves, I will sanitize with alcohol, with, you know, hand sanitizer, natural sanitizer, oils that are sanitizers. And I do it, you know, every like 10 minutes or something because my hands won't get dry. So for me, it's that cue of like, don't touch my face, wash a lot, use a lot of friction because friction kills germs. And then I don't touch my personal items because that's my mindset. But you can't put on gloves and then rub your face. You know, it doesn't connect.
Or so handle money. You see people doing both.
Yeah. And if you have to handle money, have it ready and then wash right after. You know, sanitize right after. Keep your hand spray close. So that's my first little, you know, soapbox on this whole thing is like, if you're going to use PPE, which you should, use it properly. It's just like driving a car or riding a bike. You can ride a bike poorly, you can ride a bike in a technique that gets you further. It's the same kind of thing. Why aren't we thinking this way? We need to think this way. Okay, soapbox. So
no, it's good. That's good tips.
The right way, it's tricky, okay? Again, don't leave the grocery store and touch your face and touch your car and do all this. Grab the edge. Do not touch your hands. Grab the edge just like this and pull it off. So therefore it will be inside out. And we can do little video tutorials on this too. But you've got the glove off. You didn't touch this hand. This hand is essentially clean, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm doing with my right hand?
Yes, you're doing a magic trick like Uncle Ted used to do on Hachi Malachi when I was growing up.
I put it in my hand.
Yep.
Slide my finger under my glove. There should be room. And I flip it over the other one.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So this is clean because it's the inside of the glove. You had clean hands, sanitized hands, you put them on. They were not exposed. And it goes in the trash. And then you wash your hands or sanitize, whatever, you know, use a lot of friction. Friction's really important. People don't emphasize this enough. Get the back of your hands, get the front of your hands, you know, get your fingertips, do like this, you know, like really get in there, wash up like a doctor, like get up there.
Rub up.
Woo! And then really clean hands, and then be conscious of where you put those hands.
You know, all this sounds incredibly like practices that you would do anyway to avoid germs. It doesn't sound like it's any different. It just sounds like the same day, just different thing. If this was happening, what you're talking about, everybody did this before the coronavirus hit for 6 months, 2 months, I would guess all the flus, all the colds, all the doctor's visits people are having would probably disappear or be cut by 75%. And if people did time restricted eating and everyone in the whole nation stopped eating by 7 p.m. every night, then the $1 billion health industry would be $1 million in a year, and it would probably be half of that in 2 years and probably gone in 3. Just saying. Get on your soapbox, I got on mine.
You know what, Kevin, the reason why we get along so well is because we know there are things that we can do every day just by changing our mindset and our habits.
Absolutely.
Habit. That's all you have to do is stop and think about how we're going to proceed after this blows over. And I don't think any of us want it to be the same.
No.
I mean, we want our comforts and we want our connection. We want our freedoms, but we can change our habits to make this preventable in the future.
We can. And here's something I have to add to this whole sanitation thing. I am a serial garbage pickup person. I'm big into the environment, much like you are. I have a team called the Park City Environmental Coalition here in town, and we go out and pick up trash. No coronavirus, no thunderstorm, no snowstorm ever stops us or ever will. I'll say it right now, and I'll say it 1,000 times. I'm going to keep going outside every single day. I'm going to keep picking up trash. The more you throw it out, the more I'm going to pick it up. All you litterers out there.
Yeah.
So my thing is this. I'm pleading with you to stop littering, everyone. And those of you who are conscious enough, I ask you, please pick up at least one piece of trash every single day. It's not that big of a deal. I say it all the time. Now, we were out picking up trash last Saturday. Kimball Junction, right next to the library, there's a bus stop there. There is a cigarette butt dispenser to throw your cigarette butts in after you smoke. It was plenty of space in there. I see nothing but daylight inside it. Around the dispenser was 1 million cigarette butts on the ground. People are doing this. Boom, right on the ground. They snuff it and they get on the bus. They don't stick it in the dispenser. I'm begging you people that smoke out there. If you're by a cigarette dispenser, please put your butts in the dispenser. I don't like picking them up with my pickup stick. It causes my wrist to hurt, and I don't want to get carpal tunnel syndrome. I'm too young for that.
And I'm done with you throwing them out on the road too.
Yeah.
Nothing like a horn honk from me faster than throwing a cigarette butt out your window.
Oh, it's awful, awful. And then I'm not picking up.
So these are in your mouth, okay? Like, we don't have to be ignorant to the fact that you have germs on that cigarette butt. Like,
Yes.
You may not care about your lungs, or you may be struggling with addiction, and we can all relate and be empathetic to all of that. But please don't spread it around.
Yeah, don't be disgusting.
Just don't.
Right?
Like, why? You don't have to. You can choose to smoke in an area like that's a personal area if you can. We're not in the 1980s anymore, people, right? Like
Exactly.
babies.
I can't agree more. And then I'm picking up trash. And what is the number one? Guess what the number one item was that I kept picking up all day? Guess what it was?
Ooh, plastic. I'm gonna think. I don't know. Mine's always like pieces of plastic from things. Like
There was plenty, but no.
Yeah. No.
Cans?
Nope. Hand sanitizer wipes.
Really?
Oh!
Really. They're just blowing endlessly all around the universe right now. People are going, oh, let me take care of my hands and make sure that my hands are good and germ-free. And then they go, whoop, over the shoulder, and they let the wind take care of it from there. I come back and I clean it up after them.
Oh,
So my plea to you people again, please, okay, keep the germs off your hands. Great, you're doing good. Clean your hands and then throw it into the receptacle, which is always right next to where you find the hand sanitizer wipes. The parking lot is not a receptacle. The lawn next to Taco Bell is not a receptacle. The lawn next to Kimball Junction Library is not a receptacle. I'm only talking about my town, all towns out there. The receptacle is not the universe. This is our mosaic to walk on, to roll around on, to walk barefoot, to lay on our stomach and hug the earth. Earth Day is tomorrow. Let's take care of it. Let's preserve it. We have an opportunity to do that right now. We can stand up and be the forerunners and cleaning this place up called Earth. Do your job every single day, even if it is small, by picking up one trash and throwing your garbage where it goes, throw your cigarette butts where they go, throw the hand sanitizers where they go.
Okay, real,
woohoo!
That's all good. But I want to remind you the other one that's my least favorite. It's on the trail. In Bark City, right? We all have dogs. We get it. We love your dog. I don't love your dog's poop.
Oh, the bags.
You need to clean it up. You need to take that bag with you. That's the big one. I don't know how many millions of bags are on the side of these trails. And remember that most of those bags are biodegradable bags, which means that poop's going back to the earth again at some point, which we don't want because that is in your drinking water.
Yes.
The snow, all of this great stuff that we have on the trails here, it's ending up in your mouth at some point. So unless you want to, enjoy something like that, you gotta clean up after yourself. So, and after
100% agreed. I went on my bike yesterday and I saw like at least 5 bags, and I wasn't even looking for them. They just like caught my eye. If I was looking, I probably would have saw more. That's fine. Everybody's got dogs. You love your animals. Your 4-legged creatures, great. Clean up after them.
Yeah.
Don't just leave it laying there. Put it again. The receptacle is at the end of the trail. It's not that big of a deal. You're carrying a dog with a leash that's like pulling you. The least you can do is carry like 5 ounces of weight in one hand in a bag that's completely sanitized. You don't have to worry about it. It's not that big a deal.
I love that you brought up Earth Day, because I think health and the environment are so connected, right?
Right? Yeah.
If our water isn't clean, we can't stay healthy. And staying healthy is the most important thing right now, right? I mean,
Yeah.
keeping your system up, you know, I mean, the silver lining, I think, to all this is pollution has gone down a bit. But tragically, we know with all of the medical strain that's going on in our hospitals, we will be using more medical supplies. And that is a problem, because it has to be burned in a medical incinerator, which causes a lot of air pollution. So, you know, we got to be healthy. I mean, that's the bottom line for the planet, for ourselves, for our families. We just have to. We have to.
Yeah, that consumer is an important word, right? It's just about being a consumer that goes to the store and buys your clothes and buys your food. It's the fact that you're consuming so many other things on this planet that, you know, every one of them has an effect, right? Either production or an after use, post-production, or in refuse. And we've got to consider all of those parts of that chain. And that's for us, for our dogs, for our kids, for whatever it is. We got to think about that whole chain.
Yes.
Thought, right?
Yeah. And I highly encourage all of you listening out there. This is going to sound cliche, but I can't say it enough times. Reduce, reuse, recycle, refurbish, repurpose. All the time, every day. If you have a napkin at your table and you eat a meal and you go like this and you dab your corner of your cheek and you put your napkin back, don't throw it away when you're done. Use it again. I use napkins 5-6 days in a row sometimes if I don't use them often, because why throw something that could be reused over and over again? Mason jars can be reused over and over again. Kombucha bottles that you buy at the grocery store, you can use that a million times. You can use it as a drinking vessel. Think in terms of like, it's those little small things that add up to a lot. If we can get everyone in the world to do one small thing a day, such as pick up a piece of trash, reuse a glass container, reuse plasticware that they got when they got takeout food from the local restaurant, over and over 2 or 3 times before you throw it away. Little tiny things like that add up to a lot. They make a huge difference. They clean up the world, they clean up the earth, they reduce the pollution problems. And all those problems have taken second fiddle because the coronavirus took all the glory all of a sudden. But I haven't forgotten about anything. And all I think about is, I know what the problem is. I'm not stupid. I figured out the problem the first day it happened. I was like, okay, cool. I'm going and I'm going to think happy thoughts. And I'm going to do good things. I'm going to do good deeds. And I'm going to put positive chi out there. I'm going to focus on keeping my body as healthy as I can, as strong as I can, and mentally fit as possible. And every one of you out there right now should be thinking to yourself, what can I do to boost my health and fitness through the roof right now? This is where it matters most. The temperatures are starting to go up. The sun is starting to come out. The higher the temperature goes, the more the coronavirus gets suppressed. The more exposure you get to sunlight, your vitamin D is going to boost through your body. It's a big immunity boosting vitamin. You superdose on vitamin C indoors, get vitamin D outside, get your body exposed to the earth, walk around barefoot, ground yourself. Your body goes into homeostasis within 30 seconds of walking barefoot across a yard.
Yeah.
Right now, you should be focused more than ever on what can I do to be as fit as I possibly can, to boost my immunity through the roof. Don't listen to anything that anybody else has to say. No one. Don't listen to the news. Don't listen to the media. Don't listen to anything. Listen to you. Your heart, your brain, your body. They don't control your body. You control your body. You have 100% ownership of it. You are the master. And I'm sorry to get hostile, but I can't stress this enough.
You're excited. You're
you know,
excited. Be accountable for your own system. Be in charge of your own body and do what you can, which is so nice when you can just walk outside and get this huge immune boost. You know, it costs nothing. The air's cleaner right now, which wouldn't that be great if we could like continue that? I mean, sometimes Corona scare, you know, just like if we can somehow just keep the positives of this experience.
That's the thing.
Somehow, you know. I
think that we I don't know how we always end up in this situation again and again of like forgetting the lessons learned, right? Mm-hmm. You know, that quote about, you know, if you don't remember, if you don't have that memory, you're doomed to repeat those same mistakes. And I was raised by my grandparents, and I'll tell you something that's kind of funny about all this is I see us going back to all the lessons they taught me, right? Yeah. You mentioned it, keeping the plastic bags and reusing them, or, you know, if you not use plastic bags at all, then even better. But, you know, we used to have a roll from the paper towel roll that's where all the rubber bands went that came through our home, right? And then there was some way to repurpose that. There was some way to reuse it. There was always something. And when you think about all this, you know, how many people are out of work right now? How little is the money coming in for most people? You're going to have to start doing this whether you want to or not. You've got to, because you're going to need to. You know, you're not going to go out and buy Tupperware tomorrow. You're going to probably use that packaging you got from the store yesterday and wash it and use it again.
Yeah.
That's the way things have got to be. We got to go back to that sort of Depression era thinking in a way, because frankly, we're in one. We're back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. But
history again.
At the same time, like, I think we can have a much more positive outlook, you know, and help each other.
Yeah, we don't need to call it depression. What should we call it?
You know, it's
I call it a reboot. It's like there's a reset or a reboot going on. I see so many amazing things happening right now. I don't hear anyone talking about it ever. So let's take all the colds and the flus and the other things that normally occur this time of year. Okay? I don't think that, you know, because we're so sequestered and we're not hanging out with people, the reason you get colds is because you go to gyms and you go to grocery stores and you shake hands with people and you hug people and people are sneezing and coughing, germs all over the place. You walk into a pile of germs, you get sick. And that just keeps recycling. And then you cause someone else to get sick, they cause someone else to get sick, on and on it goes. But minus the coronavirus, we've been so sequestered and suppressed. Where are all those germs going? They must have dissolved or died off by now. So in the big picture, once the coronavirus ends, does it not make sense that the overall health of the nation is going to be much better? And like I said, if there's a spike, what they're expecting to happen is they're going to let everyone out of the floodgates and go out and do things again, and there's going to be a big spike in coronavirus again a couple months down the road. However, if you take that time when this first wave ends to do all the things to boost your immunity through the roof, get yourself in front of the sun, don't you think you can make yourself bulletproof? And you're going to be you're going to be more resistant to all these other colds and germs that aren't even there anymore because they're gone. No one's talking about this. Plus, the skies are more clear. Salt Lake City looks really nice. LA looks really nice. Chicago looks really nice. The fossil fuel use has gone way down. Gas has gone down 10 cents a gallon. I mean, there are some things happening right now. People are starting to get better relationships with their family members and their husbands and wives. There's like two sides to that story. I'm going to get into the bad side. I'm going to talk about the good stuff here. But I'm seeing all these beautiful, amazing things happening, and no one is talking about it. What people are talking about is, I need to wear a mask and gloves and get gas. The end of the world is coming. This is horrible. This is bad. Blah, blah, blah. And they keep recycling the same stuff I hear every day, like chanting. I'm tired of hearing it. What about the good stuff? Let's focus our attention on the good. Tomorrow's Earth Day. We should be rejoicing. We should be outside hugging the Earth tomorrow, thanking the Earth for letting us use it at our disposal to do all the things we like to do. I mean, it's really that simple.
Dessert.
Making dessert. So that you make those healthy desserts, because I can keep my sweet tooth in business.
I really can't wait to try some of your new kombucha too. I'm really excited.
What are those names again?
I've got Blue K, which is a combination of blackberries, strawberries, blueberries, and edible flowers.
Ooh.
I've got Black and Blue, which is blackberries and blueberries. And I've got one called Stars and Stripes, which is normally my signature summer blend, which is blueberries, strawberries, and watermelon. All going right now, all fermenting as we speak. I can hear it fermenting in the other room.
Oh, I'm so excited. We might have to do a trade.
I'm game with that too. We'll talk about that when it's done. It'll be ready on Friday.
Park City Kombucha.
Heck yeah. Any last words that you guys want to throw out there before we close up?
Don't eat pangolins.
Don't eat what? Pain meds?
No, I said don't eat pangolins, no eating of bats, let's eat healthy, let's take better care of the planet's animals, let's take better care of the planet. That, you know, it's not just about the planet tomorrow, it's about the animals that live on it too.
Yeah.
We got to be thinking about that and what we do to conserve those animals. You know, there's a whole, as much as there is silly medicines out there, there's silly ideas that rhino horns do good things for people. They don't. It's gelatin. So just start taking care of the animals on this planet too, because I think this ought to be a pretty big wake-up call that we haven't been doing that either. We haven't taken care of the animals.
Don't put animals together that were never supposed to be together in the wild. You know, keep them in their natural habitats. Don't resell wild, exotic animals, and certainly don't eat them in an open-air market. Well,
I'm vegan, so I don't eat them anyway.
There's our soapbox.
And you know what? I know you're vegan, and we do our best to eat my whole motto is eat as many fruits and vegetables as you could probably, as most likely, get in your face. Like, just shove your face and body full of vegetables and fruits. We are not 100% vegan, but the desserts are helping us make a little bit of strides in that direction every day. And I think that you make a huge environmental impact when you reduce your meat and, you know, really get more veggies in there. And you support local farmers too. And so it's a full cycle here. And I was in the medical system. There's a reason why I'm not anymore. I mean, it's a very, very intense, traumatic place to be. Mm-hmm. So the stuff you do see about the hospitals being completely overwhelmed, the nursing homes being completely overwhelmed, that is legit. And please do whatever you can to send love and good vibes and healing to all those workers that have to see death on mass scale every single day. It is extraordinarily traumatic. You know, he's in the Air National Guard. I was a pediatric ICU nurse. It's not fun putting someone in a body bag. No. And I really hate to be that extreme, but that stuff is real. And do your part, which is keeping your body healthy. And that's what this is all about, right? There's fun that you can keep your body healthy and keep your family healthy and still take care of your community. And that's the balance, right? Wear your gloves, don't do stupid things, don't, come within whatever 6 feet of somebody unless it's your family. I like wearing a mask because I think that if you're out, it's easy to touch your face. Mm-hmm. And if you have, again, it's mindset. Put on the mask, but when you put on your mask, that's your Batman suit, right? That's your protection. So don't touch your face because that's your indicator. It's time to not touch my face. It's that walking into a different paradigm and putting on the mask being okay, now it's not time to touch my face, body. Get on board. And also it's easy, it's allergy season. It's easy to sneeze. It's easy to accidentally cough. It's not like you're trying to. It's not like you're trying to go, oh, I'm going to cough right now or I'm going to sneeze right now. And we know that's one of the ways this thing gets transmitted. So yes, I know it's controversial. I know people don't like it. I certainly don't. We're in America. Freedom of choice is really important here, and I value that as well. But I also value my neighbor, and I value my neighborhood, and my city, and my town, and my community, and I care about people, and I want to see everyone come out of this better. Yeah. So that's my personal take on it from a healthcare perspective.
My personal take on it is this. If you're sick, though, I mean, let's just say that you haven't done all the things that we've been talking about, K-Rail. You haven't been care yourself, or somehow you picked up something from someone. Look, that's the time when you need to be at home boosting your immunity and doing the things that we've talked about. So many of them you have talked about. And you've got a little sick kid. That's not the kid you take with you to the grocery store to get him out of the house. You want to get him out of the house, take him to the park, get him some fresh air and some sun, right? Yeah. But take them to the grocery store with you and make them just a carrier. They don't need to be your carrier. There's got to be some way to mitigate that when you need to do the other things that you need to do. Just make sure that you're taking care of each other. We still have you with us, Kate?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, we lost our screen.
We lost our screen.
Turn that back on.
We could go on and on, but there is some good news out there. And I hope we all find it. We really like our comedian friends, Some Good News Network. You can YouTube it. So
yeah, check that out, John.
Stay positive, and we're so happy you do what you do, Kevin. Thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate it, and like I said, it just makes me feel. It looks like we lost him. Well, I'm still here, so I'm going to close up, and I'm going to say on behalf of Shelley and Joe, thank you, Shelley and Joe, for joining me. And also, if you are local and you're in Park City and you want to get some of Shelley's amazing desserts, look her up on Facebook, or you can connect with me directly or her. Shelley Marshall, Park City Desserts. That's how you can find her. If you have any questions for Joe Davis, or Aviator Joe on Facebook. And my parting words are this: make sure I usually say try to get 8 hugs a day for 8 seconds. If you can manufacture that on this current situation, get the 8 hugs for 8 seconds every single day. Pick up at least one piece of trash every single day. Live in the present moment every single day. Do at least one good deed every single day without anything of expectation in return. Those are your homework assignments. Tomorrow's Earth Day. Go out and hug the earth. Do some good deeds. Think happy thoughts. Put some positive chi on the atmosphere. Just like we have the ability to have bad energy around us because of what we think, we can pull good energy in as well. The more good energy we put out there, the more we're going to get in return. We have the capability of doing that. Let's make it happen. Let's stand united and let's start making a shift. Put good chi out there and let's do some magic things, people. Until next time, this is K-Rail. I am signing off of Zoom and Facebook. If you have any questions or comments, always free to hit me up. And make sure you like and share my videos and follow me because I like to move and I like to move fast. Let's do it together. Later.